again. I wanted to know what the solution for the Cambodian authorities, what they're doing with this number of the population, and also I would like some of the comparative evidence in the dealing with issues of sex work in Bangladesh and in Cambodia, if possible.
And the last question was?
The comparative evidence of dealing with issues of sex work in Bangladesh and in Cambodia.
Oh, but I'm not an expert in the area of statistics and the Vietnamese sex workers in Cambodia, because that was your question. But as far as I know, a large number of Vietnamese sex workers in Cambodia, they come from Vietnamese, ethnic Vietnamese, but Cambodian families. They are born here, and their mothers and fathers also often are born here. So they are not migrants. And these families have a tradition, and you can see it if you go across the river, of having themselves and also their children becoming sex workers. That is just the tradition in the family. Like in another family, maybe the father is a carpenter and the son will also become a carpenter. So a large proportion of the Vietnamese professional sex workers, they are in fact Cambodian citizens. Was found on the street and can be assumed to ask for customers, the police can, and often is doing it, arrest her. I've not heard about male prostitutes, but at least the female prostitutes. And that is of course a problem, because how do you know if she is asking the same problem? Because also there is against the law, and nowadays they search girls on the street with somebody else and they arrest her. But it's of course very bad, because for spread of HIV/AIDS and so on. I do not know if that happens in Cambodia, but the threat is there that if not is defined in a proper way, what is soliciting, what is asking for customers, then you leave it up to the police on the street, and then you get different attitudes. But in general, regarding nationality, the government of Cambodia is not making distinctions. Is that my answer?
Actually, from Cambodia and Bangladesh, and of course, I wasn't working in trafficking or migration, but I have gone around these two countries and observed similar things. That's curious because I understand that many girls and women are also trafficked to India. Yeah, and just like here, they're trafficked to the neighboring countries. Would you know any difference about, protocols for repatriation, perhaps between India and Bangladesh, which perhaps the countries here in this region may learn from, or what may be the difference,
Yes, and that has to do with a very big difference between Cambodia, that is the sub-Mekong, Greater Mekong area, and the south of Asia, like Bangladesh or India. And that is what we can call the early marriage phenomenon. Girls as young as 10 years, 12 years old, are given in marriage in Bangladesh. But the parents, contrary to the situation in Cambodia, but the parents have to pay a dowry, have to pay a financial compensation to the parents of the husband, or the parents. It is against the law, but still it happens. Now, for those parts of Bangladesh who are close to the border with India, and it's a very long border of thousands of kilometers, they find a solution by there the daughters can find a husband and they don't have to pay dowry. But many of these daughters then end up not with a husband, but they end up in prostitution, in forced labor, and other problems.
Thank you for the statistics that you showed, because there are so many statistics around, and they can confuse and they can immobilize when we hear 80,000, 100,000, and we think, what's the point? But I just want to share a quote from Mother Teresa that I read about 2 days ago that says, if I look at the masses, I will never act. If I look at the one, I will. And I think that this problem has got to be solved one at a time. And individual, and case by case, and each girl and walking the journey to wholeness again. So, thank you.
Okay. Now I can still, is 200 too much? I'm sure that it is more than 200 because we keep the statistics of the shelters in Cambodia and the NGOs who work on it. And I have done these statistics for the last 10 years, and we would probably be in a right figure of underage trafficked girls. We talk about girls in this case, who are in one way or another sexually abused or exploited, probably around 500 a year. What we not know, and that is a concern, is how many come back from Vietnam, from Thailand, from Laos, from Malaysia, and who are abused, sexually abused, labor abused, but come back and then just go home because there is no system to receive them. That's, like I said this morning in my keynote, since the commit procedures are there, the number of repatriated victims has declined very much, not only in Vietnam, but it's also in Cambodia, it is also in another countries, because of the procedures which are avoided. So, in fact, since these procedures are there are more victims, let's say, but we cannot find the victims, that is a problem. And I'm happy, very happy, and I want to say that here, that not only the anti-trafficking office, police and from the provinces are here, but there is a new system in Cambodia to identify, to rescue and to provide services to victims of trafficking and abuse and other violations. And that starts to work. And I'm very proud to say that I'm in it, and I want to know more about this as a kind of best practice.
One question. One thing about Mohan, my from 3% from the best corporate from the Cambodia. But Carol, the President of Russia, President, the former President, America control of free of Sopadai, the boy, the America, Mebon, say, how the bomb race and Yako more time. Then you want to go to that, they bomb again, and live back or south of first of Jakam, I say.
Indeed, Bangladesh has signed all the conventions, like Cambodia against child labor. They also have